This isn't one of those video essays where the title is a question that's only answered by watching the video. This video is to pose a question to anyone that's willing to hear me out and explain what is with the cute-ification, for lack of a better term, with horror content. Why does this happen so much? I'll give you examples of what I'm talking about. I was a creepypasta kid growing up, nay, a creepypasta junkie growing up. I would sit there for hours and hours listening to the narrations of and reading scary stories over and over again. I'd branch out to find as many new ones as possible. I enjoy a good horror story, but when I go to these creepypasta fandoms, I'm greeted with anime art of Jeff the Killer being a cute anime boy kissing people? Like, what the hell? I see this shit everywhere and it's so damn weird. Like, another example is Five Nights at Freddy's. I played the games because they're liminal, scary, fun, the murder mysteries exciting, they're ambient and mysterious. There was a cool story spanning decades worth of lore. I go to Five Nights at Freddy's fandoms and it's just the weirdest things imaginable. I don't mean to knock anybody, shit on anyone's picnic, but why is it that when I search for stories based around Five Nights at Freddy's, it's all X-Reader, Bonnie, X-Reader, Purple Guy, X-Reader? Where does this come from? It's not enough that like one person's doing this, but this is in mass. Why does stuff like this come out in such high numbers, and why is it to literally everything horror? I even have my own story about this. In middle school, I was the moderator of this small community with a few thousand members. It was for scary stories, creepypastas, spooky urban legends, all that shit. You're getting some Tom's Lawyer lore here. And after running it for long enough, we got a huge surge of Gacha Life posts. What the hell does Gacha Life have to do with scary things? It was cutesy crap that didn't really belong. So we had to come up with a rule that Gacha Life was banned. If you've ever moderated an online community, you know what I mean, where you have to ban something because it's in such mass that no other content is getting through, and it barely relates to like the subject matter. I've seen a lot of Reddit moderators have to do this, Discord mods, whatever. And we had to do it because it was drowning out all the other posts. And we got threats and a bit of harassment, and the place ultimately ended up dying not long after that. But like I'm telling you, this is a pattern. This isn't just like one time or another. Mandela Catalog, cool, interesting plot about demonic clones and shapeshifters that builds tension with lore and theories. But the intruder is so cute and kawaii. Like, how? Bro kidnaps kids through the TV. Like, I understand the humor behind the juxtaposition of making a horrifying character cute, but why is it everywhere? Like, The Backrooms, a scary web series and copypasta about a maze of grating yellow walls with fluorescent lights and monsters hidden behind the corner. It's like a whole psychological horror thing. Fans get a hold of it, and then it's level 73. You must search the playground of the cute mushrooms to find a purple crayon to get Mr. Snugglywuff to open the next door. Now, to be fair, some horror properties kind of leave themselves open to the sort of wubbification that ensues. Something like Amazing Digital Circus, like, yeah, that's bound to happen. I've heard arguments for Jeff the Killer's story, the campiness and overly edginess, leaving wiggle room for being cutified. I guess there is some valid case to be made, but like I said, it happens on such grand scales. It's literally embarrassing to be a fan of some of these things. Like, when I tell people about my Five Nights at Freddy's fanfiction, they instantly assume some weird furry shit. Not to knock any furries, but it shows that this whole side of the fandom has such a dominating impact. In my story, my fanfiction, I try to draw suspense. I have jump scares, death, tension, murder, and some mystery. Those are the kind of things that you should expect when I say FNAF fanfiction, but instead, because that side of the fandom is so colossal, I guarantee what you'd actually expect is William Afton X your name. Like, I was called a weeaboo so many times in my life for liking creepypasta, because it's that heavily integrated with these weird, like, anime drawings. I just want a good campfire story, man. Those things don't have anything to do with each other, or at least they shouldn't. And I also feel like the developers are trying to play into that whole cutesy side of things. Like, in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, if you were a fan of the liminal murder mystery, ambient horror thriller games, let's be real, you probably didn't enjoy the movie that much. You probably thought, why are they building a pillow for? Why is it that she draws the spirit's memories into existence? Why did she strum Bonnie's guitar and just explode? Why is the cupcake killing everybody and causing the spring lock failure? Why is Afton so cringy? Oh, the symmetry, my friend. Why is this movie so comic-y and goofy? But you look at the ratings and notice that the fans absolutely loved this movie? Is that cutesy side of the fan base really that massive? I mean, apparently, but how? If the Slender Man movie had Slender Man, Jeff the Killer, and Tiki Toby wearing cat ears and baking a cake together, would it have gotten higher ratings? Like, who knows? Who knows? I know that there are plenty of, like, teen girls with, fetishes for serial killers or whatever, but even that already is kind of, like, red flag-ish. But I don't know. Take something like Jaws or Halloween. I don't really see a lot of people saying, like, Michael Myers is a cute introvert anime boy, or the shark in Jaws is just misunderstood, but it's actually so kawaii. Like, maybe it has something to do with social acceptance of those things broadening vastly since the release of those movies. Like, Jaws and Halloween both came out in the 70s. And by the way, I'm not against the broadening of social acceptance of things or whatever. I'm just curious about why horror fandoms are like this, because I genuinely do not know. I've been wondering this for a very long time. And the last thing that I'll mention is, you look at the other side of things, and it's happening in media that's supposed to be cute, becoming horrifying, the reverse effect. Like, the amount of art of Hello Kitty and her friends abusing substances instead of baking cakes and having tea parties or whatever. And don't even get me started on the My Little Pony fans dealing with the most graphic and lewd art known to man. Raymundo2112 has a great video on that. I highly recommend it. As previously stated, I understand the humorous juxtaposition of scary thing being cute, and in this case here, cute thing being scary, but, like, is the juxtaposition really that amusing and funny that it becomes the entire, like, backbones of these fandoms? Like, I just don't see the appeal. I can't see it being very amusing and funny for very long. Like, yay, haha, Freddy Fazbear and Bonnie and Balloon Boy are classmates in silly, fun, goofy animation, whatever. But, like, wouldn't that get boring after a little bit? Like, why is it still, like, leading the fandom? I just don't get that. So, yeah, not trying to make any big formal statement that, like, horror fandoms need to be more cool and less cringe. I've just been very curious about this for a long time, and hopefully I can get some answers and insight. My best answers are the comedic juxtaposition, broadening of social acceptance, maybe it has to do with some of these things appealing to teen girls that are into that kind of shit. I don't know. If you have any ideas or views on this, drop them in the comments, but yeah, that's all I got. Laters.